Good evening, students. Today I'm going to teach you interview कैसे लेते हैं, why is it important? But before that, tell me, can anyone recap अभी तक हमने क्या किया है? We have had 4 classes, so can anyone tell me क्या सीखा क्या नहीं? Asis, what to write? या 4 classes के बाद ये तो मत पूछो. हाँ जी, can anybody recap?
May I, ma'am? May I?
Yes.
Ma'am, we till now we have learned a few concepts. In the first class, we talked about the difference between journalistic writing and creative writing, the difference between misinformation and disinformation, and article and a report. And then we followed it by talking about a story. What makes an event a story to be like how is it how it becomes that way that it can be printed in a newspaper or shown in a broadcast. Those factors were if it is something unusual, if it is something unique, and all those factors contribute to whether it is a story worth writing or not. And then we also talked about what are the qualities of a journalist. They should be good at communication skills, they should be hardworking, they should be truthful. And yeah, and you also talked about how we should write, how the first
Just
paragraph should be
wait, एक
summarized.
minute, Tamanna. Monvika, are you able to बच्चा talk now?
Yes, ma'am. Now I can. I was just
Good.
actually I joined late, so I was just asking what is going on with class, and then I heard you ask that question. So I just wanted to tell you that I was not also able to upload because there are some important events coming up right now. I'm not really getting the time, but I promise I'll do it till day after tomorrow or something.
Sure. Cool. Sorry, Tamanna. Please continue.
I was about to conclude, ma'am, because I had listed most of the things. I was just talking about how you told us we should write, how the first paragraph should carry that influence the reader to read the whole story. How we can start with a statement or maybe an unusual fact or something like that.
Right. So far we have just talked about different forms of journalism, difference, miscommunication, discommunication. You have also learned about content, difference between a content writer, creative writer, and of course a journalist. Key qualities of journalist. I hope सबके पास सबने start कर दिया है सोचना as journalist. Then, of course, what constitutes news? Stories are around you, but हर कोई story news नहीं बनती. So you have to think, जो भी story मेरे पास है, वो news बन सकती है या नहीं. So you have to check it on the parameters that we gave you last time. Then you have to write the story based on inverted pyramid. You have to follow that. Fine. So today I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you how to conduct an interview. First of all, tell me, what is the advantage of conducting an interview? Interview क्यों चाहिए हमें? सब कुछ तो नेट पे है, तो
Ma'am,
क्या पर्पस है इंटरव्यू करने का? Yeah.
ma'am, an oral interview could give us more clarity about it, since if it's a one-on-one personal interview, we can also ask additional questions which could provide additional information which may be useful furthermore. And if the other person has a doubt, we can clarify it on the spot.
Hmm.
Ma'am, may I go?
Yeah.
Ma'am, it's also the fact that like you get the perspective of the person that you're interviewing about the topic.
Hmm.
Because whenever we talk about any topic or any particular story that's happening around us, usually people mostly focus on a major perspective that most of the people have. So when we interview someone, we can get a different perspective so that we can build our story on that too.
Wonderful. Good. Anyone else want to add?
Yeah, ma'am, may I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, while doing one-on-one interviews, we can also see like if we are having like an in-person interview, we can see what was the reaction of the person while answering that question. If the question made them uncomfortable, like all those body language changes which can give us a different perspective on how people think about that topic.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, can I?
Okay. Yes, Vacha.
Ma'am, to so that they can know how knowledgeable you are, they can know about the one's skills, and to understand the way they communicate, to understand their personality, to check experience that they carry with themselves, to verify some information,
Hmm.
and to clear that, and to give information about company also, so that they take that information in their mind and work accordingly.
Okay.
May
See,
I
the
go
prime
next?
reason. Yeah, who is this?
Rishika. This is
Yeah,
my first
Rishika.
class. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, this is your first class.
like I've watched the YouTube videos, so I am up to
Why
date.
is this your first class?
Because I like something just kept coming up during, whatever timing it was scheduled.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really sorry
Yes,
for that.
Rishika. That's okay. Tell me that first. Introduce yourself and then tell us.
Okay, I'm Rishika. I am in Kiar Mangalam, Gurgaon, and
Hmm.
I'm in grade 12th. I've always been a very avid reader, and
Hmm.
I'm very interested in storytelling, and I tried to once write a book which
Hmm.
did not go, like I could not publish it, but I still have it in my drafts.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I've always been very fluent with my language and communication, and that's why I really wanted to pursue journalism and content writing.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, as to what an interview is, like it helps us get a first-hand information. So, like rather than trying to figure out how people would feel about that situation, or about if suppose we're reporting an event, it would help us to gain like first-hand information from someone who has been through the situation, so that we don't leave everything to assumptions and we can have some solid hard facts.
Right. And one of the major things, advantages of having an interview is that we bring in the human element. Information, बाकी बहुत सारी, we can always get it from AI or net. But when we interview, we bring in the human element, which is very, very important. The moment आप एक story में वो element ला पाते हो, you bring in a personal advantage. People read it, that kind of a thing. ठीक है? So what we do is whenever we go to interview a person, there is certain format that we follow. Do you guys know what's the difference between open-ended, close-ended questions?
What,
Yes,
ma'am?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
May I?
Yeah, bolo.
Ma'am, open-handed questions are which give the person who's being interviewed, they give that person the chance to express their heart, and not have a bondage to answer in a certain way, or it gives them the chance to put forward their perspective. It's open to all answers, open to different perspectives and opinions. And whereas close-handed questions are basically which have to be answered in a certain way, like maybe there's some multiple choice questions or yes no questions, maybe that's basically subjective and objective.
Okay. Anyone
Ma'am,
likes
can
to?
I? Ma'am, can I?
Yes, bacha.
Ma'am, open-ended questions allows detailed answers
Hmm.
carrying a lot of information in it. By the
Hmm.
while close-ended questions, they like just ended up by cutting the
Okay.
points so that you don't look like you're giving a speech, you're a tutor, and the one who
No,
wants
no,
to.
no, no. It
Ma'am, may
it
I?
doesn't.
And ma'am,
Yes, who
yes,
is this?
open-ended questions encourage explanation and discussion, while close-ended questions they usually starts the answers with yes or no, or in the word answers.
Right.
Ma'am, Harsimran here. Can I?
Who? Who is this?
Harsimran. Harsimran.
Yes, Harsimran.
So the key difference is that open-ended questions allow the person to answer in their own words, and close-ended questions are usually short and is such as yes or no. Right.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
one more point.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Open-ended questions, in these types of questions, they gather opinions, ideas, or feelings of the one who's answering, and in close-ended questions, they collect facts or confirm information.
No. See, what happens is हम लोग as journalists जब भी चाहते हैं try to have uh okay, I will explain you this, but before I get into this, tell me, अगर तुम लोगों को किसी को interview करना हो, any person you want to interview, living or dead, who would it be?
Someone who is famous and recognized by the people.
ma'am,
कौन?
I
Tell
think
me,
that
scientist,
Ma'am.
actor, who would you? Yes.
If I could interview anybody living, I would choose my dog.
You will choose your?
Dog, my pet. I would like to know his thoughts, how he sees the world, because, or maybe just any street animal, because I would like to
No,
know
no,
what
no.
they go
That
through.
that is that falls in creative writing. Dog and this. That is gonna be the creative part of it. I'm talking about actual person, living or dead. कोई
I
famous
think
personality.
I go for Sigmund Freud. He
Hmm.
is one of the famous psychologists,
Hmm.
and few of his
What would
theories.
be your first question?
My question would be that why did you have to bring in so many theories? I have to remember them for my examination. Wouldn't you make it any less elaborate?
Okay.
And also, some of his
Uh,
theories are really controversial, and I do not agree with them. So I'd like to put my perspective in front of him and like to know that why are your thoughts so controversial? Like, couldn't you think straight?
okay. Anyone else?
Ma'am,
What?
yes.
may
Huh?
I?
See, what happens is something about whom people are curious about. Yes, Girisha, but who is it that people are curious about? You are curious about.
Ma'am, may I go?
Yeah, but
Uh, so, ma'am, I'm from Manipur, and maybe you must have heard it in the news. There's a lot of conflict going on here. So,
hmm.
if I had to interview anyone, it would not just be one person, but actually the whole Manipur government as a whole. I would like to interview them and know, like, what is going
Okay,
on.
fine. Suppose you have to interview the chief minister. What is going to be the first question you're going to ask?
Ma'am,
Hmm?
ma'am, honestly, I would ask him why this conflict has not been resolved yet. I would want to know his viewpoint.
Okay. I would like to Imtiaz. Nice. See, there are too many personalities that we want to interview. So
Not
what happens
resolved.
is, what
It's been
happens
2 years.
is,
Yes, ma'am.
that's okay. Yeah. So what I'm going to what I'm trying to tell you is, see, there is a difference whenever we go to interview a person. इसका मतलब होता है एटलीस्ट हमारे पास 5-6 क्वेश्चंस तो तैयार होने चाहिए which we are going to ask the person, because interview means some amount of time, maybe 15-20. अगर हमें एक पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन का आंसर लेना हो या समथिंग लाइक दैट, व्हाट वी यूजुअली ऑप्ट फॉर, we go for quotes or something like that. That means must have seen TV reports या कुछ में देखा होगा, कोई स्टोरी आती है एंड यू जस्ट टेक चीफ मिनिस्टर का बाइट लेते हैं, वी कॉल इट बाइट, फाइन, जो माइक पे उन्हें पूछा जाता है एकदम से, एंड वी हैव जस्ट वन, फॉर एग्जांपल शी टॉक्ड अबाउट मणिपुर की सिचुएशन, यू नो Some journalist will just come up with a mic and ask him the question, he will answer that kind of a thing. That is usually press conferences या किसी में या ऐसे ऐसे चलते चलते आ गया and you just pop a question and ask the person. Imtiaz Ali, because I really want to know about his creative psychological mind, that how does it work? How does he come up with such heart-aching stories? Has he been hurt? Wonderful, nice. The reason why we interview a person is because we want, one has to be the curiosity angle. Maybe he has come up with some invention, or maybe you want to know more about the personality. Maybe he is responsible, as she said, he's responsible for certain security of the region. So you want to know more about that. So there has to be a purpose why you are going and interviewing a person. And interview and taking quotes are two different things, as I already explained you. We interview for a lot of things. We can have a general question and answer session, जिसमें सीधे question पूछते आता है. We might like to have his one or two quotes उसके उस इंटरव्यू से निकाल के एक स्टोरी में डाल देंगे. एक दो क्वेश्चन के आंसर दूसरी स्टोरी में डाल देंगे. And we can have multiple stories. Or we might just have उसका persona हम उससे define कर रहे हैं उस बंदे को. So we just want to know more about the person. Like she is talking about Imtiaz Ali. We are just defining what the personality he has. So we are doing a story on his personality. So we will have his interview. We may not publish it as question and answer, but based on our interaction with the person, we will write our stories. जिसमें हम उसके quotes बीच बीच में डालेंगे. You guys understand what is quote, what is bite?
No,
Ma'am?
could you please elaborate?
Yes. I hope everyone understands what's a quote. जो बंदा बोलता है वो quote होता है. In TV language we call it bite, but in print or we call it quote. छोटे छोटे दो या तीन लाइनें बंदे के आते हैं या टीवी पे किसी एक स्टोरी में आपने एक पर्टिकुलर पर्सन ने अपना व्यू पॉइंट दे दिया. That is just quote. तीन चार लाइनें बंदे का लेना. ठीक है, that is what is quote. One of the things. Yeah. So interview में हम उसका तीन चार लाइनें लेके एक अलग से स्टोरी डेवलप कर सकते हैं. That kind of a thing. Fine. As a journalist, remember one thing, your job is more about listening than writing. That is very important. Even when you are interviewing a person, you have to listen to that person very patiently, very calmly. अगर तुम्हारा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू मैच नहीं भी होता है तब भी आपको सुनना पड़ेगा. दिस इज योर जॉब. यू कांट जस्ट शाउट. जैसे हम लोग टीवी में आजकल देखते हैं चिल्लाना चीखना चिल्लाना. दैट्स नॉट द वे टू गो अबाउट इंटरव्यू. फाइन. Because you are asking that person to come to share his thoughts, so you have to respect that. It's not necessary कि उसके thoughts तुम्हारे साथ match हो. So you have to respect, give him that space. You can contradict him with facts if you feel नहीं वो गलत बोल रहा है, but you have to be respectful. That is very, very important. It doesn't matter what your opinion about that person is. If he is talking to you, be respectful. As a journalist, you can present the other facts जो कि उसकी statement को counter करते होंगे. It's your right to present it. But you have to be respectful to that person. If he is not telling you that, it's okay. That's his right. उसको जो बोलना उसे बोलने दो. Fine. Your job is to listen, to do unbiased reporting if you want to be a good journalist. Remember one thing, great journalists are always great listeners. So why do we, as I told you, now let's start a simple activity. Who was it? आप लोगों में, I think, Tamanna, was it you who had written a book and got it published?
Ma'am, that was through Bree Books, yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Suppose I'm just giving you a simple example. Suppose आप लोगों को तमन्ना की बुक छप चुकी है. So I give you a task. You have to interview her. So tell me what kind of a questions can you think of? तमन्ना से पूछने के लिए. I'm just giving you
Ma'am,
1 minute. Just think about questions. Yes.
I would ask that what was the inspiration behind writing a book?
Right.
Who was your ideal, whom you followed, and you reached till the target? Have you reached till the target you aimed off?
Hmm.
For now, that's it, and I'll think of more.
Okay. Anyone else
Ma'am,
who
I
would like
couldn't hear
to?
you. Can you repeat the question?
I said one of your one of the participants, आप ही में से एक है, Tamanna. She has got her book published. So if I give you a task to interview her, what are the types of questions that you can think of or you would like to ask her?
Mom, I'd like to ask about the consistency as well. Like, I heard one of the others, she asked about her inspiration. I would like to ask what motivated her and what made, like, kept her consistent. Because I'm trying to write a book and I'm not able to finish it. I'm not consistent with it.
Hmm.
So I'd like to
Yeah, madam,
ask
what problem?
what motivated her to be so consistent about it.
Very nice. So the kind of questions that I'm coming up, Asis has written, is the story you have written connected or related to your real life instant? That kind of, yes. So the kind of questions that you are coming up, it's really very interesting. So you see, जब आप questions develop करेंगे, the idea is to get more information than is available on net. So you have to avoid the questions कि उसने बुक का नाम उससे बुक का नाम पूछना या कब छपी, that kind of thing. You have to actually ask these kind of questions that you are writing, all of you. Who motivated you? When did you write? You might ask, maybe she has written it during the time of pandemic, something like that. So that kind of a question. The idea is कि आप उससे ज्यादा से ज्यादा information लो, and so that आपकी स्टोरी थोड़ा सा और बेटर हो जाए, यू गेट मोर इन्फो, आपकी स्टोरी में और वैल्यू ऐड हो. Yes. And for that, what happens, we use open-ended questions. Now, coming back to what is open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are those questions jahan pe we leave it to the person we are interviewing. We give him the chance to answer it the way he likes. Whereas close-ended questions are basically जिसमें yes or no answer आ जाएगा. He might say, I'll say, okay, you've written the book. Was it really interesting? Did you find it interesting to write a book? So she'll like, yes, I found it interesting. हो गया खत्म. ठीक है. Yes के साथ आपके पास कोई info नहीं आया. Because it's a close-ended question. You framed a question in such a manner कि आपने उसको chance दे दिया yes or no बोलने का. So as a journalist, avoid asking such questions unless आपको yes or no ही उसका आंसर चाहिए, उस टाइप का चाहिए, then you will frame that question. But as a journalist, क्योंकि हमें more info चाहिए होता है, so we use open-ended question जिसमें we will ask her inspiration क्या है, what was the motivation, when did you write, those kind of a things. So again, we will use our 5W and H to frame our questions, to ask in a manner कि वो बंदा we force that person to speak up, tell us more about things. For example, अगर suppose एक बच्चे ने weekend पे बच्चों को अंडर प्रिविलेज स्टूडेंट को पढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया है, so instead of asking him how many children are attending your weekend program, we will ask him what inspired you to the how are children looking at it, participants, are they increasing, कैसे increase हो रहे, how are they being motivated, that kind of a thing. So आपके questions हमेशा वैसे frame होना चाहिए कि बंदा और बोले, वो और information दे. And remember one thing, since most of you are interested in psychology, it's always जब आप किसी को थोड़ा सा encourage करते हो ना, you make that person feel good about himself or herself. You will feel वो बंदा ज्यादा अपने बारे में बोलना शुरू करेगा. Kind of. He will want to talk more about himself. First, you have to encourage him. Second, you have to listen to him patiently. अगर आप उसको बीच में काटना स्टार्ट कर दोगे, the person loses motivation. Fine. So this is how we go about it. Any questions?
Ma'am, I have one question that I want to ask you, Tamanna, as she is, I'm taking her interview, that if your books could speak, what would they say about you?
Okay, nice. Okay, Asis, what is it that you didn't understand, बच्चा? आपका माइक नहीं चल रहा कि आप लिख रहे हो?
Ma'am, I don't know for the question you said that if everything is clear or not. So
Pardon? I can't hear you properly.
uh, actually, I wrote the wrong sentence, I guess, wrong reply to your question that if everything is clear or not. So sorry for that.
Okay. नो प्रॉब्लम. द पॉइंट इज मैं आपको सिर्फ ये बोलने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि अगर आपको इंटरव्यू करना हो तो आपको कैसे करना है. द रीजन आई गेट तमन्ना's the thing is because some of you want to write books and stuff like that, so I just was trying to make you think कि आपको कैसे आप क्वेश्चन पूछोगे, because you guys are into it, so it's easier to frame questions जिस फील्ड में हमें खुद इंटरेस्ट हो. Fine. Now, if I give a simple example, there is a competition being held, and या एक competition हुआ है और आपको students किसी student से बोलो मैं interview जो go and take his quote or just ask him a question. What is it? किस type के question आप उससे पूछोगे about competition?
Ma'am, I would ask the student who's going into the competition that what, like the moment the competition started, what was your impression of your competitors? That with the like being with them, how did you assume? Like, were you scared for the competition? Were you excited? How did you feel just the moment before the competition started?
Okay.
Ma'am, can I?
There, yeah. Asis, there is no need to be sorry, बच्चा. You just have to learn. हाँ जी बच्चा बोलो.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I would ask that what challenges did you face while preparing? Moreover, what do you enjoy most about this competition and you'll keep it as memory forever? And who supported you the most when you were scared about this or when you were losing hope about the competition?
Okay,
Ma'am,
good.
may I?
Yes.
I would
Who's
ask them
this?
what,
Hmm.
Harsimran. I
Yes,
would ask
Harsimran.
them what made them enroll in the competition.
Yes. Good.
I would also like to ask that what's the one memory you will carry with yourself forever after this competition ends? Like, what's the one memory, or what's the one lesson you'll always
I
carry?
would say one lesson या उससे most memorable part of the competition बोलो.
Hmm.
One से आप थोड़ा सा limit कर दोगे चीजें.
Hmm. Like,
ठीक है? Most
what's your
important,
favorite
that kind of a thing.
memory? Yeah.
How much time do we have? Yeah. So just a sec. Girisha बच्चा, you just go through the video of last class. I will be giving you a new assignment today. Just concentrate on that. बस लास्ट क्लास में आपको जो बोला है वो इम्प्लीमेंट करना है अपने नए असाइनमेंट पे. You don't have to write now anything. Just implement whatever I've written. Always avoid questions like, did you like the competition? Was it difficult? Because they are closed-ended questions. The moment आप इससे पूछोगे वो बंदा yes or no में आंसर देगा. So you have to, even if I have to ask, say, difficulty level क्या थी, I will ask in a manner, किस टाइप के challenges आपने face किए, if I want to know whether the person is happy or sad, you know, rather than asking were you happy, yeah, kisi ne hara, to are you sad, that kind of a thing, you just reframe the question. What did you learn today? How are you feeling? You know, what how did you feel jab when you learned you had won, something like that. So remember, आपको अपने W 5 Ws कैसे यूज करने हैं. You have to be very careful. Favorites are what, why, how. This is what we use mainly to ask a question. Simple, tell me about this. Describe. These are the kind of, जब भी हम क्वेश्चन लिखते हैं, we form our questions based on them. Maximum use इन चीजों का करते हैं. Fine. So what happens is, whenever we go for an interview, remember one thing: never ever shout. Don't try to show to the other person that you're superior. मेरी knowledge तुमसे ज्यादा है. Never ever have that kind of an attitude. You are not interrogating them. It's supposed to be a conversation between two people, and you are supposed to, you know, put it on track every time it goes this way or that way. तो आपको उसे लेके जाना है proper destination पे. So always research about the person, find out why you are interviewing the person. क्यों interview करना है, क्या story है. Because once you decide क्या story है, उसी के आसपास आप एक questions format करोगे. Like I told you, तमन्ना से related question अगर पूछना है, books से related. There are n number of questions that one can ask. अपनी life, ये, but we focused on book. Same way for any other. Say this session only. अगर मैं आपको interview करना, आप में से किसी का interview लेते हैं कि session कैसा था, we will focus only on session, not on n number of things that are happening there. So first, define what is the purpose. Then research about the person, research about the event. उस इवेंट में कौन कौन आ रहा है, रिसर्च अबाउट देम. आपको किसे टारगेट करना है, किससे पूछना है. टेक परमिशन ऑफ द पर्सन. इंटरव्यू में वो बंदा किसी क्वेश्चन में अनकंफर्टेबल है, दैट्स ओके. लेट इट गो. द पर्सन डजंट वांट टू आंसर, it's fine. You don't have to, you know, get to that person's life जैसे हम लोग टीवी में देखते हैं. नहीं, आंसर दो. ऐसा नहीं होता. Just be cool about things. It's your job to make the other person feel comfortable during the interaction. So for that, you have to first be yourself comfortable. So we start our interview with basic comfortable questions. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है, hello, आज breakfast में क्या खाया, इस type के questions नहीं. That can be an informal conversation. But formal conversation में, we will start with maybe, tell us about yourself, what are your interests, questions जो कि बंदे को एक comfortable pace पे ले आए. That is the purpose.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
May I ask in doubt?
Yes, पूछो.
मैम जैसे आपने अभी ये सारे फैक्टर्स लिस्ट करे कि इंसान वाला इंसान कंफर्टेबल होना चाहिए, दे शुड फील ओके टू आंसर द क्वेश्चन, यू कैन नॉट फोर्स देम, you have to maintain
I'm
basic.
not saying they should feel okay to ask the questions. I'm saying if they don't want to answer your questions, it's okay. You don't have to,
Yeah,
उसके पीछे
that's
नहीं
what
पड़ना है.
that's what I was coming to, that all these are basic decency, that if someone is uncomfortable, then you do not just asking them to answer. But why aren't these rules followed in broadcast journalism? Like what we see in TV debates is completely different. What one should do, what a journalist should do. Why aren't these followed there?
Because right now what is happening is आपको viewership चाहिए. So in viewership, whatever sells, people do that. But I'm talking about जो कि basic ethics है. Fine. So over time, what happens? It may be a trend for some time. Is type से चिल्लाना चीखना, but gradually we go back to what is the basic. It will eventually
Will
go back to
called
being
out if
nice.
you continuously do that thing, people will call you out one day. Like if you maintain that thing, if you're shouting continuously, if you're not being respectful to the person you're interviewing, people nowadays can call you out on social media that this is not the right thing to do.
बच्चा that's okay. Lintoy, बच्चा आपका क्या problem हो रहा है? It's not working. I'm not able to click it. I don't know what's up. Sick. Allowed to go. Now check. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, it's working.
What they are doing is drop that. We are just talking about what are the ethics. So ethics are you have to be. जब आप दूसरे बंदे से decently तमीज से बात करोगे, remember one thing. इंटरव्यू इज नॉट अ वन टाइम प्रोसेस. एक बार खत्म हो गया चलो तुम अपने घर में अपने घर. इफ यू आर ए जर्नलिस्ट आपको उस बंदे के साथ फिर से भी काम हो सकता है. So if you're being rude, mean to that person, the person will not come to your platform or would like to talk to you again. So be nice so that the person comes back. And होता क्या है, सीजन जर्नलिस्ट का क्या होता है, उनके कॉन्टैक्ट्स बनते हैं ऐसे ही. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज यू डोंट गेट स्टोरीज, ब्रेकिंग न्यूज और समथिंग. इट डज नॉट हैपन इन अ डे. These are sources which a journalist cultivates over the years. So वो तब बनता है जब आप दोनों का इंटरेक्शन एक कंफर्टेबल लेवल, एक कंफर्ट जोन पे आते हो. Then you start talking about things.
Yes, ma'am.
लिंटॉय आपका चल गया बच्चों? Just check. I
Yes,
think
ma'am,
it should work now. Okay, cool.
thank
Okay, so we will start with comfortable questions always, and then we will gradually go deeper. That is, we will start asking little bit uncomfortable questions. Fine. Maybe we'll ask him, क्या challenges हुए इस task को करने में, क्या challenges हुए, कहाँ से experience आया, या कुछ और controversial आपको जो पूछना है, थोड़ा सा उससे sugar coat करके we will ask, depending on what kind of a relation we share with the person, our understanding. If you are meeting for the first time, तो थोड़ा सा हमें और respectful way में उससे पूछना पड़ेगा. Or if the person's designation demands it. If you are talking to the chief minister or prime minister, whether you like the person or you don't like, the person's designation demands to be respectful. We recently saw what happened in Norway, if I'm not mistaken. That was highly disrespectful because that was not a press conference. It was a press briefing जहाँ पे allowed ही नहीं होते questions पूछना. Still, you had one journalist who started literally shouting, kind of a thing. That is not a decent way. That is basically you want to grab the limelight, that kind of a thing. So a seasoned journalist would never do क्योंकि उसे next time पे बुलाएंगे ही नहीं उस event. So if you are a decent seasoned journalist, you won't indulge in these kind of things. So learn that. And respect the designation. It doesn't make any difference तुम्हें वो पसंद है या नहीं पसंद. You have to respect that. There are so many people who don't like Trump nowadays, but you can't deny the fact that he is the president of US. So you have to respect that position. And so this is how a journalist, a seasoned journalist always does that. And remember, आपके पास स्टोरी आपका हमेशा जब भी आप इंटरव्यू करने जाते हो आपके एक डिफाइंड सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस बना के जाते हो. दैट इज मे बी 5 to 10 क्वेश्चंस आपने लिख लिए, वो आप हमेशा बना के जाते हो. बट इट डज नॉट मीन सिर्फ उसी में से पूछने. बात करते करते यू माइट फील the person is talking something interesting. I should ask him more about it. So spontaneously questions banao. In fact, those questions make for very interesting stories. So do that. Don't be scared of asking that. For example, अभी आप किसी और से किसी से इंटरव्यू करते हो तो the person says you ask him the challenges, some startup, the person says मैं तो एक हद पे पहुंचा था जहां पे I just wanted to quit. So at that time you instead of asking something else जो आपने pre-set, You will ask him, but अगर आपने quit नहीं करा तो क्यों नहीं करा? That kind of questions, उस time पे just be awake to know कि यहाँ पे मेरे को एक अच्छी सी story मिल सकती है. So don't be afraid to ask him those kind of questions, because your job is to get more and more information. जितना ज्यादा आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन होगा उतना ज्यादा आपका स्टोरी डिफरेंट होने के चांसेस है और उसमें वैल्यू होगा. एंड उतना ज्यादा क्या होता है, आप दोनों कंफर्टेबल होते हो. सो यू मे नॉट गेट ब्रेकिंग न्यूज टुडे, बट टुमारो यू मे गेट इट फ्रॉम द पर्सन. एंड ऑलवेज एंड इट वेल. इट्स नॉट जस्ट बिगनिंग का आपको सोचना है, आपको एंड भी डिसेंट वे में करना है. एंड यूजुअली व्हाट हैपेंस इज, most of the time journalists do ask questions like, is there anything important I didn't ask? That is a general question journalists ask, so that कहीं अगर मिस किया हो कुछ और बंदे को कुछ अपना बोलना हो, he wants to say, वो बोल सके, which may not be मेरे इस पर्टिकुलर चीज से रेलिवेंट जो मैंने सोचा हो, but maybe the person wants to share some interesting incident or something like that. So a good journalist always asks them. Okay, am I clear?
Yes,
किसी को
ma'am.
कुछ पूछना तो नहीं है? Cool. So should I go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens is आपने interview कर लिया, and then what we do is we have to now find a story. So what, as I told you, एक होता है सीधे question answer जिसमें जो हमने पूछा वो उसने जो आंसर दिया, we just transcribe it and we write. One is we get a very good quote from a person and we start the story from that. For example, as I said, so suppose तमन्ना के बदले एक्स स्टूडेंट कोई है जिससे हमने पूछा राइटिंग, एंड द पर्सन से, मैं पेंडेमिक में बैठ के सोच रही थी क्या करूं, तो मैंने सोचा बुक्स ही लिख देती हूँ. So that kind of a thing. So we will just start our story rather than having it बीच में कहीं पे स्टूडेंट का इंटरव्यू में ये, we'll start our story with, it started with pandemic only, that kind of a thing, so that हमारी स्टोरी का इंट्रो थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग और थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट हो जाए. Basic guidelines you as an interviewer should always follow. One, introductory question, then experience question, general, difficult part, challenges, reflection question, क्या सीखा क्या नहीं, और future questions. Difficult questions, uncomfortable questions, keep it बीच में कहीं पे, या मैक्सिमम जब आपका इंटरव्यू खत्म हो then you might push that, so that अगर बंदा ना भी आंसर करना चाहे या he gets so angry that he wants to get up and leave, तो वो भी करे, बट आपके पास इंटरव्यू आ चुका हो, एटलीस्ट कुछ तो आपके पास हो. अनलेस आपका एक या दो ही क्वेश्चन उससे पूछने का पर्पज है, देन इट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग. फाइन. Okay, just keep some tips in your mind. Curiosity. Great interviews begin with curiosity. Figure out your subject. उसके आसपास रिसर्च करो. Ask questions जिनकी इंफॉर्मेशन नेट पे अवेलेबल ना हो या जिनके फैक्ट्स आपको काउंटर चेक करने हो. Listen more, speak less. Follow up questions, be ready for follow up questions. अगर कुछ लगता है आपको this makes for an interesting story or I need to dig more, be prepared to ask those questions. वो questions spontaneous होते हैं, जरूरी नहीं है you have to follow the line of questions that's given over there. Try to get a strong quote so that you can start your story from there. So I hope I'm clear सब कुछ. because now I will be giving you an assignment. Yes, anonymous attendee, we do have a task. Okay? हाँ जी बच्चा लोग, fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes.
I'll just give you a task. 21st June क्या होता है? Any idea?
International Yoga Day or Summer Solstice.
Yes. International Yoga Day, and I think almost all of you जहाँ पे भी रहते होंगे वहां पे आसपास योगा होता होगा. कुछ हो रहा है योगा से रिलेटेड?
Ma'am, I'll be going to my school 6:30 in the morning on 21st.
Cool. Others?
Ma'am,
आपकी
isn't it
सोसाइटी?
Father's Day as well?
Pardon?
Isn't it Father's Day as well on the 21st of June?
बच्चा I'm not sure. मैंने फादर्स डे का भी
It
देखा
is.
नहीं.
I did
Yeah, it
search it
is.
out.
Yeah,
I did search it
first
up, and
also
it is
Father's
Father's
Day.
Day.
Okay, let me see. Father's Day. But Father's Day पे क्या आपने are you be going doing an event? No.
I mean, I thought most families do celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day.
No, but I don't
That's
want
the only
your
reason I mentioned
celebration.
it.
I want a story now. The reason why I'm saying yoga days, अगर आपके आसपास योगा डे होता है, I would rather see कि अगर आपके पास आप I think हर स्कूल में हो रहा होगा.
No, ma'am.
स्कूल में भी नहीं हो रहा. आसपास. Okay, for all those जिनका आसपास योगा डे नहीं हो रहा है, come up with a story idea. Give me a story idea by tomorrow. मैंने लास्ट टाइम भी वैसे बोला था. किसी ने स्टोरी आइडिया लिखा है? संभावी, you had written some story ideas which I did not understand. बच्चा आपने क्या लिखा था? Are you there?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes, बच्चा. आपने 3 story ideas लिखे थे, but I didn't understand वो था क्या?
Oh, okay.
Can you explain? I'm asking you.
Oh, wait, I'll have to open it on my laptop.
Okay. The story idea should be from an incident or can be made up. I would rather say incident, or I would say, see, the idea is आप पूरा report लिखो. The yoga day was the best thing to happen. अगर नहीं है so अपनी society या RWA, if you have, I think almost सबके पास ही RWA या society होगी घर पे. And even if you don't have that, अपनी स्कूल टीचर्स से लेके, ठीक है, come up with some kind of a story where I want you guys to figure out. I'll just give an example of yoga day only. Yoga day se related, for example, you just go and cover the event. So you are going to give me event क्या हो रहा है, किसका हम इंटरव्यू करेंगे, कौन जो करवा रहा है, कितने पार्टिसिपेंट है, दैट काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग. जो योगा डे नहीं करवा पा रहे हैं, दे कम अप विद अ स्टोरी आइडिया, मे बी समथिंग लाइक इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम कर रहे हो, फिगर आउट हम किसका इंटरव्यू करें. वी आस्क अबाउट देम. Arunji is online, so you might interview him as is about this internship program and stuff like that. ठीक है, just come up with a story idea and then tell me आप उस story में आप उसमें क्या लेना चाहोगे, आप किसका इंटरव्यू करना चाहोगे, what is going to be there. Can we take interview of our school teacher on? Yes, बच्चा, take it. I want you to develop the story. इसीलिए तो मैं बोल रही हूँ. Yoga becomes easier topic, but if you don't have that, find out, figure out a story. Maybe internship programs पे related आप कुछ लिखना चाहते हो. Come up with a story idea. Tell me how would you like to develop it. उसमें आप क्या न्यूज एंगल निकालना चाहोगे, उससे रिलेटेड कौन सा बंदा आपने फिगर आउट किया है जो कि इंटरव्यू जिसका आप इंटरव्यू करना चाहोगे. Then we will discuss what kind of an interview questions you would like to ask them, that kind of a thing. So I want you guys to do all these things, if possible, today itself, so that we can tomorrow discuss it. Tomorrow, I will show you how to write strong intro and headlines, especially in the world, in this digital media wale duniya mein. ठीक है? So, this is going to be the tomorrow's assignment. I would want you guys to come tell me the stories. Am I clear या कोई confusion है?
And basically, we have to come up with a draft that what story angle we'll be finding. Like, for example, I have the yoga day event coming up. If I try to put that angle, so like we have to basically tell you what we are going to do. We have to discuss that tomorrow.
Yes. For example, तुम्हारे case में you are going to school to attend yoga day. So just tell me, what kind of a story would you like to develop? वहां किस See, I'm not telling you वही story करना होता है वहां जाके, but आपको अपना काम करना होता है. Over there, if you get some other story angle, you can always modify your story accordingly. But उस इवेंट में जा रहे हो तो क्यों जाना है? एज ए जर्नलिस्ट आप क्या कवर करना चाहोगे? आप किसका इंटरव्यू किस पर्पस के लिए लेना चाहोगे? दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. यू हैव टू डू योर ग्राउंड वर्क, बट एट द सेम टाइम यू हैव टू बी ओपन टू आइडियाज. हो सकता है you get some other better story over there. So be open to that idea also. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
या मैंने कंफ्यूज कर दिया?
No, it's clear. I will try to think of something before yesterday.
Good. Hanji, anyone else? So tomorrow I'm discussing the story ideas with you then. You guys are going to give me your story ideas. You are going to tell me how you are going to proceed with it, and who is the person that you have recognized whom you are going to interview for that. What kind of a questions do you intend to ask? Okay?
Ma'am, I have a doubt that I should write a report on yoga or what you're saying now.
You don't have to write any report, abhi bacha. You have to identify an event जिसको जाके आप cover करोगे as a journalist.
Okay. Okay.
Fine. So identify any event. नहीं कोई event आ रहा है आपके दिमाग में, तो फिर आपको यही internship program को ही as event लेना पड़ेगा और उससे related कोई story सोचना पड़ेगा, and you have to identify the people that you would like to interview. Maybe your school principal, maybe Arun ji, that kind of a thing, But come, or school teacher. So just think of people जिन्हें आप interview करना चाहोगे, story angle क्या लोगे, that kind of a thing. Bacha, I am on LinkedIn, but I'm hardly active over there. Okay, guys?
So, ma'am, we have to write the interview.
No, you don't have to write the interview. You just have to come up with a story idea. Tell me what story are you going to do, and whom are you going to interview,
Okay, ma'am.
and what is going to be the purpose of your interview. Then we will discuss किस type के questions we will frame.
Okay, ma'am.
I hope it's clear. So, should I end the class now? Set up my account there. So just want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
make
Thank
me-
you so much.
Okay. Okay, bacha. No problem. Chalo ji. Take care. See you tomorrow. Okay, I'm just signing out. It's okay, bacha. If you have set up the LinkedIn account, that's okay. Ask is gone. ठीक है, chalo ji. Take care. Bye bye.